We stand afraid of shadows cast by doubt, whispered fears of what they'll talk about. Got dreams that wait in line behind our pride, but courage lives where fear is set aside. So many dreams collected dust on shelves, scared to fail, so we hide our true selves. But life will pass and so will all those stares. Nobody's watching as much as we think they care. So step into the light, don't fear the fall. The only limits here are built by walls. Tear them down and seize what you deserve. You're stronger than the whispers you've heard. Got plans to make, but fear keeps you in place. Afraid to lose, or maybe scared to chase. But what if magic waits around the bend? Go grab it now, don't let the doubters win. We wear these masks to hide what we believe, but truth has power when worn on your sleeve. Reach for the stars, they're closer than they seem. Your path is clear, don't let them steal your dream. So step into the light, don't fear the fall. The only limits here are built by walls. Tear them down and seize what you deserve. You're stronger than the whispers you've heard. Got plans to make, but fear keeps you in place. Afraid to lose, or maybe scared to chase. But what if magic waits around the bend? Go grab it now, don't let the doubters win. We wear these masks to hide what we believe, but truth has power when worn on your sleeve. Reach for the stars, they're closer than they seem. Your path is clear, don't let them steal your dream.
We are back. How is everyone doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Can you believe that? We are in the first day of May already. In 31 days, we will be at the halfway point of the year. Although technically, the halfway point would be June 15th, but June is the halfway point of the year. We are almost halfway through 2025. Time is running. So my question for you is, all of the goals, all of the quote unquote resolutions, or all the dreams that you had at the beginning of the year, how far along are you in achieving them? Or did you quit on them already?
Bruh.
I hope that is not the case. I hope that you are still going strong in all the things that you had set your mind to do. But if not, it is not too late to start over again. You can still do it. Like, don't quit. Don't quit. Just keep going. All right. So tonight, believe it or not, we are getting back to our ethical hacking. Before we took a short hiatus on the ethical hacking in order to go work on the kind of like a DevOps project, but installing installing the event management software on AWS through Elastic Container Service. The last thing we did was we were working on our Portscanner, and we were trying to pass in a range of IP addresses to scan. So we're going to be getting back to that tonight. So hopefully everyone has been waiting to get back to ethical hacking. I know I have, but priorities. We have to shift some things around. We have to be agile. With that being said, I am going to get into our agenda so we can get the show on the road. By the way, I just pinned to the top of the chat. You guys know Magnetar, my favorite federal employee, Magnetar. Him and I, inside of the Tech Culture Off Patreon, we're going to be discussing federal employment this Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. We're going to be talking about, I'm just going to be hosting it, but he's going to be sharing about federal employment, what the different levels, how to get into the federal workforce, educational requirements. I'm speculating because based on previous conversations, that's what he's spoken about. But he is very, very knowledgeable in that, and we're going to be on Google Meet. It's a free event. You just have to join. You just have to have a free account for the TechCoach Patreon, and you could be able to join. It's pretty much open to the public, but you do need to sign up for at least a free account, for at least a free tier, in order to be able to participate, get the information, and join the call. All of that good stuff, right? I think it's going to be very, very informative. And you guys know Magnetar, we always have a lot of fun when we are hanging out, all right? So that is this coming Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. I guess we can say 2 p.m. Mountain Time and 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Do that again. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and 1 p.m. Pacific Time. All right? So looking forward to seeing all of you there. All right. With that being said, let's just jump right into our agenda so we can get the show on the road. First and foremost, I just have to say a big, big, big thank you so much to all of the subscribers to the channel, those who have been with me for a very, very long time, and those who are brand new to the channel, like my friend Favor, who I'm still working on getting the right pronunciation for the first name, but my friend Favor, who was joining us the other day, we had a great time talking about different topics on the Tech Q&A show. That was a very, very fun Tech Q&A show. Shout out to my guy, Rod Brown. I am going to be premiering our conversation on Saturday afternoon, so let's look out for that. But yeah, thank you so much to all of the subscribers to the channel, those who are brand new, those who have been with me for a long time, those who are very active in the chat, and those who watch from the clouds. I appreciate every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
And shout out to all of the Patreon members, my tech barbarians, my tech prodigy members, and my technical explorers, and those who sign up for free, because every last one of you who take the time to support the platform, to support the work, to support the educational value that I bring and the career value. Thank you so much. You guys are the absolute best.
We the best.
And I can never, ever forget my tech mercenaries. Those are the YouTube channel members who allow me to be on YouTube day in and day out. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
And I gotta say, shout out to everybody who's watching on X and who's watching on Twitch. We got rated last time by, I think it was yesterday we got rated by Lilo9, and we had a bunch of viewers in there for the morning show, and that was so awesome. So thank you guys so much. And I hope that we continue to grow our presence on Twitch and on X and everywhere else. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. All right. So next up on our agenda, upcoming shows, we have tomorrow, we're going to be having an episode of The Bug Bite. And what am I talking on The Bug Bite? I think, we're going to be talking about the future of software engineering with AI. We started reading it like maybe last week, but it's actually a really, really long topic. So we're gonna deep dive into that article. I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts about the software engineering field and AI and what people are speculating and what I've seen working in the software industry. Because I mean, I work with software developers every single day, and so we're going to be talking about all that tomorrow on the Bug Bite. So we definitely want to tune in to that. We're going to be going live on Sunday on this channel for software explorations. We're going to be continuing with DevOps. I might go into terraforming either terraforming the project that we've been working on, or I might just move on into Kubernetes, some more Kubernetes and stuff like that. We shall see. Sunday night, we're going to be going on the Half Guard Halfy channel to talk jujitsu with my jujitsu friends. I'm going to drop that in the chat for all those who are interested in jujitsu. You can join me on that channel. Subscribe to that channel. We're going to be talking about different, we're going to be reviewing some videos. I think what I'm trying to organize is getting all of our very first competition videos from most of us like five years ago and analyzing that, but I'll see if I can pull that off. But that's definitely going to be on Sunday, so you definitely want to tune into that. That's Half Guard Halfy. The link is, I just dropped the link in the chat to go to that channel, subscribe, and join me to talk about grappling, jiu-jitsu, all that good stuff, right? The gentle art is what we call it, right? And lastly, as I mentioned, I'm going to drop it in the chat one more time, but it is pinned to the top of the chat on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific time. I will be talking with Magnetar. We're going to be talking about federal employment and the different ins and outs, how to get into the field, what are the requirements, and how should your resume look. Magnetar has a plethora of information about that, and he is kind enough to share it with all of us. Free event. You just have to be a member of, you can be a free member for the Tech Coach Off Patreon, but come and listen and ask questions about, if you're interested in being a federal employee, what will it take? What do you need to do? What type of education you need to have? Magnetar will be there to answer all of your questions. So looking forward to seeing you there. Dropping the link to the event one more time. You just got to register, and then you can join us. All right. The link for the Google Meet is going to be there in the description after registering. Register for free. Join us, and let's have a great conversation. All right. Okay, so with that being said, we are ready to check the chat. I love to acknowledge all of my friends who are in the building. So let's see what we got going on. First and foremost, we got my guy, AR Smitty, in the building. What's up, AR Smitty? How are you doing? How are those work hours? I know you were working like crazy hours, 20 hours a day. What? How are you doing? Hopefully you've been getting some rest and you are not killing yourself, or maybe I can't say that on YouTube, but you know what I mean. Hopefully you are taking care of yourself, maybe reducing it from 20, maybe down to 19, maybe 18, maybe adding 2 more hours of sleep. I don't know, but hopefully you're doing a phenomenal, AR Smitty. So happy to see you. We got my guy Junior in the building. Says, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Junior? How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing amazing as well.
Let's get it.
And Junior says, that's a very pointed question that's anchored in accountability, still making progress. That's what I'm talking about, Junior.
We the best.
Let's see. We got Rock the Scrubs, Roxy in the building. Says, hey, Tech Coach Ralph and everyone. Good evening, Roxy. Hopefully everything is going well with you. Or as me myself, I would say, the beautiful Roxy. Let's see. What else we got? Is that everything? Roxy says, I got some questions for Magnetar. Well, Roxy, bring it. You know the movie, Bring It On. Bring it on, Roxy. Let's go.
Are you ready?
I am looking forward to seeing all of you guys there on the Google Meet talking about federal employment. If you have ever been interested in federal employment, come join us and let's have the conversation. Magnestar is going to be sharing so much information. Magnestar has cleared his schedule for Saturday so he can give us all the game on federal employment. All right. AR Smith says, a bit more time. I'm ready to go heavy on my 100 days of Python. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, if you guys are going to be going in on that 100 days of Python, I will make myself available to answer any questions that you have. I will even put it on my calendar to like schedule maybe 30 minutes to an hour in the Discord to just answer your, or maybe I'll even do it on Google Meet so I can record it and post it back for people who might have missed it so they can watch it back. I don't know. But if you guys are serious, because see me, I don't want to waste my time. If you guys are serious about going in on this Python, I will make time on my busy calendar to be able to answer your questions. Like we'll have like a group meetup maybe every 2 weeks. And you can ask me any questions. If you need me to show you anything, let me know. But you guys have to be serious. You have to be committed. All right. So you guys let me know. You guys know where to find me. If you're interested, I will make it happen for you guys. All right. Okay. With that being said, we are going to get started with the show. But I wanted to show you guys this real quick, right? So you guys can see when I'm not online, when I'm not on the channel or I'm not working, I want to show you what it is that I am doing on a daily basis. All right. So as a little icebreaker, before we get into our working on this Portscanner, I want to show you this. All right. So let me share my screen real quick, and you can see what I do. And it's probably not the best light, but All right. So this was last night. And this is my 16-year-old nightmare right here, right? I'm just gonna play it, and I'm even sharing the audio for I don't know why, but and you're gonna see how I picked up the pace.
Bora house. Get out of there. Vamos. Bora. Pick up the pace. Vamos. Bora house.
Yep. I really picked up the pace, didn't I? It happens. But that is what I do on a pretty much 3 times a week, sometimes more. But that's what we do. That's at Roxy. Did you see the 2 ladies there? Did you see the 2 ladies who were pretty much fighting with each other? That could be you on the mat, Roxy. That can be you on the mat as well. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
All right. With that being said, I think we are ready to get into our first working segment tonight. So let me get that on the screen. All right, cool. So we are building a port scanner. Let me see before we get into that. Let's see what Roxy said. Roxy says, I can't. She says no. And Roxy says no glasses. Hey, you know that old adage of like never hit somebody wearing glasses. Did you guys see that video when that lady was doing the street interview and the other lady and she had glasses and that other lady just like punched her right in the face? I guess she never heard of that. Never hit somebody with glasses. And AR Smitty says extra security for the meetup. Nice. All right. Let's get to it. I can talk to you guys all night long, but we're not here to just chit chat. We are here to make progress on our goals. Part of our goals for 2020. So let's do a quick rundown, right? My goals for this channel for 2025, learning ethical hacking, penetration testing. It was to learn large language models and prompt engineering and to continue learning DevOps, right? So for large language models, We are on week 2, although we are week 2 of the class, although we are 5 months into the year. We're on week 2, day 1. But I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. For the DevOps, we're pretty much well on our way. We're on like the second part. We did the DevOps already. We're working our way through Kubernetes. We did a lot of Terraform last year, and we're just gonna keep going with that. And for ethical hacking, we are working on our Portscanner right now. We're doing pretty good. We're a little slow on the large language models, but time is on our side. Time is on our side. All right. But yeah, let's get to it. Junior says, yep, she definitely didn't care. She was a demon. She was. And she was proud of it as well. I was like, this right here is demonic. You know what? I gotta hit up Rod Brown. Say, hey, Rod Brown, do you want to make a video reviewing this? I don't think he did. I think that'll be a great video from Rod Brown. I'm gonna hit him up. All right. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to our first working segment, and then I have my conversations throughout the breaks and checking the chat. But let's get to work. Let's get started. All right. Do me a favor though, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, techcoachdrive.dev, so that you can get access to amazing content, especially the meetup that Magnetar and I are going to be doing this coming Saturday, talking about federal employment. All right, let's get to our first segment.
It's time to do.
Speaking of Magnetar, here is Magnetar in the building. Says Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
What's up, Magnetar? Hopefully you are doing amazing. All right, we are working. All right, so let's go to, let me open up my PyCharm. I'm telling you, I've been doing a bunch of crazy work this past couple of weeks. I'm going to talk about that during our first break. But, let this open. Let's say close that. Let's go to Portscanner. Okay, there we go. What? Okay, so let's go over to the screen over here. And you see, we were supposed to do this on April 10th. We did not do that. So let's just update that. Up next for May 1st, 2025. And we want to do range of port from 1 to 8500. Oh wait, no, we did do that. We did do this already. So we have the check marks over there. So this is what we want to do. Up next for April 17th, which is actually May 1st, 2025, range of IPs, for example, 192.168.86.1 to 192.168.86.255. And then we say, so we need to convert to list within the function instead of before passing into the function, handle passing in just one IP address, all right, and loop through a range of provided IP addresses. So basically, let me go ahead and start up Metasploitable. Let's do UTM. So if we were to scan our own machine, then it would cause the internet to drop, as we've seen. So, oh, look at that, it was still up and running. So, all right, there we have that. And let me see, ifconfig, and our IP address is .86. All right, so okay, so we got that. We can minimize this, and we can also let's also start up Kali Linux, or maybe I could open up. Let me do this. Maybe I can do a second instance of Maybe I can do a second. Clone this. Yes. That way I can just have two Metasploitables running, and that way we can have two separate IPs for them. All that good stuff. Let me see. How was the... All right, so that's starting. Let's minimize this. So there we go. So we have two. We have Metasploitable-2 and Metasploitable-2. All right. And what I want to do is MSF admin. So we're in. Let me do if config. And this IP is .23. All right. So if we were to run our application, our scanner application, and it says which IP addresses would you like to scan? So let's say we did 192.168.86.23. Is that right? Yep, that's 23. We should... It says, what ports would you like to scan? Let's say we do 0 to 3000. And let's see. Let's see, IP address. Pass it. You can pass in a single port. Can assign requested address. Let's see where it's failing in our code. For range and port. I haven't used this in a while. Let me see if I remember. So user passes in the value 1,000 to 10,000. Try to run that again. 192.168.86.23. Enter. And what if I just do 22? So why did the range not work? I mean, it's been like almost a month that we've worked on this. It's been 3 weeks, so just trying to remember some details about this. 86.23. And it says you can pass in a comma separated, a range, or a single port number. So if I pass in a range, user passes in port value 1,000 to 10,000. Let's say I do 100 to 1,000. Okay, I don't know why it didn't work the first time. That's weird. All right, so now we're getting all the ports that are successfully connected on. All right, so that's working. Now, the next thing that we wanted to... So let me just make sure what my IP address is. Let's close down some stuff. I guess I gotta do it in there, but let's see. IP config. IP config get if-addr. I think I'm this one. IP config get if-addr EN0. So I am 186. I am 192, 168, 86.39. So the problem is if I try to scan my own port, it's going to give me trouble. So I'm going to have to like skip over this port. But what we can do is, for the time being, because ultimately what we are currently working on now, so let's go to this list over here. We want to do a range of IP addresses. So like .1 to 255. We're going to do like .40 to 255, because if I do .39, then it's going to mess up the stream. So we're going to skip over that, right? So we can do like up to like 38 and from 40 and up. Scanning an IP and a port, right? So we want to do this. So in order to do this, let me just indent. It says we need to convert to list within the function instead of before passing into the function. Convert to list within the function. So what I'm going to do in order to get this to work, I am going to print out some stuff just so I can see what is happening. All right. Do some documentation. Let me see what. All right. So for which IP address would you like to scan? Separate them by comma. Do I have it working by comma already? Let me do a quick check. Let me see if I have it working, because I really don't remember. So if we do 192.168.86.23 comma 192.168.86.250, and what ports would we like to scan? We say we want to do 1 to 1,000. Okay, so why is that one not scanning? All right, so we do have that working. I don't know why. Okay, and then so there we go. So we do have, all right, so we do have that. Separated by comma is working. All right, so let's say what we have working. So we got that working. So now we're working on the range of IPs. All right, perfect. So just reacquainting myself, and we have these working for the port numbers. So all right, so the range of IP. All right, so now we are going to say, let's go to, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try, although I know it's not going to work. I'm going to do 192.168.86.1 to 192.168.86.24, right? And I just want to see what error I'm going to get here. And I can do, let's say we do port 22, right? So we have an error that is saying that node nor server or serve name provided. So what I like to do is put in some print statements so that I can see exactly what is going on. So what I'm going to do is, inside of this function, I'm just going to print out the IP address. And I'm going to say, put an F string. And I'm going to say IP address being passed. Right? So that way I can visually see what I'm passing, and then I can start to break it apart in that aspect, okay? I do have this function here for scanning multiple IP addresses. So what I'm going to say, okay, for IP address and IP addresses, I'm also going to pass into here print, no, I'm going to put it into print F string, and then I'm going to say IP addresses, and then IP address. All right, so that way I can see in two different spots what's being passed into where. Possibly the errors. It's not even getting to where I added the first one. So I'm just troubleshooting to get a much better understanding of where things are falling apart, and then I can go and code to fix that. If I was doing this as like a if I was doing this as like some actual tool that I was going to be using, then I'd probably be writing my my unit tests before I even write any of this code, so that I can be doing a test-driven development methodology. But honestly, this is just throwaway code, just to have an idea of how like you can use code to show you guys how you can use code for the different aspects of development or testing or ethical hacking that you're doing. All right, so let's go here, and I'm going to say I'll just do port 22. And we have the IP address. So it's passing this as the IP address. We need to say, and IP address is being passed is IP. I don't see IP addresses. Okay, IP addresses is this list right here. And then IP address being passed. IP address being passed is that range. And then where do I have IP address? IP address in here is after after trying to loop through it. All right, so we need to, and what I said that we should do was convert to list within the function instead of passing it into the function. Convert to list within the function. So I think what I'm referring to is here, or I should say here, convert it to a list. And then pass it into this function right here. So with that being said, that's what we're gonna do. What I need to figure out is how am I going to take this right here and iterate on the last number to be to do like 1.1.2.3.4 and so forth. Well, what other better way we can do that other than let's look for it on Google. All right. By the way, I forgot to mention I am on call for work tonight, so at any given moment I might just drop off if I have if I have an emergency pop up. I might just drop off, but I don't foresee that happening. But you never know. All right, so I'm going to do a search. Let's go to the other screen. And I'm going to search for how to loop on IP address in Python. And so here, okay, so this is more like it over here. Start IP. Oh, this might be perfect. So looping through a list of IP addresses, right? So this one right here, if we were to get these separated, then this would work, but we don't. But looks like if we do this import IP though, where we can say a start IP address, IPv4 address, and an end IP address, that could work. I like that. It says for IP integer in range. Let's see how they're doing this. So for IT integer in range, start IP address +1. How are they start IP? How are you converting? Oh, wait, to an integer? I'm just thinking out loud, reading through the code. So they're seeing the start IP. They're converting the start IP address into an integer. I didn't think that was possible. Interesting. And then they're saying IP address dot. Interesting. That might actually work. That might actually work. The code iterates through the integer representation of the IP address, converting them back to IP objects for printing. The +1 in the range function ensures that the end IP is included in the loop. That's pretty cool. That is, you know what? Let's give it a go. I am going to move this right here. That way. Come on. All right, let's go here. And I am going to say import IP address. And we will say, I think we should do it in this function. And we should say, where do we separate it by commas? IP list to scan. Oh, we did it here. So we might need to IP list to scan, IP address.
Lunch break, lunch break.
IP list to scan. Okay, so we might need to, so we might I might move this into the function because that is coming in here, and then I can put some if statements. If it contains a comma, then do this. If it contains a hyphen, then do that, and so forth. Similar to how we did for the ports. All right, cool. So let's go to break. We will think about that once we come back, but I'm formulating in my mind the best way that we are going to do this. All right, so let's go to break. All right, so hopefully this is you might not understand everything that's happening, right? But hopefully me talking through it is giving you some type of insight on the concept of what we're doing, although you might not understand the breakdown of the code. But this is very, very, very important. Shows the power of Python. And I'll talk about this during our break time conversation, right? Let me check the chat, and then we shall get to our first break time topic. Let's see, anything in the chat? Let's see. Nope, nothing's here. All right, cool. So let's get to our first break time conversation for tonight. I call this short convo "Making Your Education Matter." All right. And it sounds like it can go in many ways, but the way that I want to talk about this is I'm going to put up 5 minutes, all right? But what do I mean by making your education matter? There are a lot of times that we either learn stuff that we don't use it, and even worse, when we spend a lot of money learning it and we don't use it at all. But something that I always look to do, and I even volunteer to do, is the things that I choose to learn, that I see is going to add value into my life and that I'm able to share with you guys, I jump at the opportunity that I can actually use them. So to get a little bit more specific, last year we spent a lot of time learning Terraform. We did so Terraform, for those who don't know, it's infrastructure as code. It's a part of DevOps. And it's like you can, in the cloud, you can write some code and it's going to set up all your infrastructure for you, okay? It's pretty much automation of infrastructure. They have it on Microsoft Azure. They have it on Google Cloud Platform. They have it on AWS and a lot of other platforms. You've seen us use it here on this channel. But one of the things that we did last year was the setting up Elastic Container Services for the David Goggins Quotes application, and we're trying it out. A bunch of stuff, right? Well, this past couple of weeks, I had the opportunity to actually put all the stuff that I learned last year plus more into actual practice on two different projects. Right. So one of them is that events management software, but the other one is for a brand new application that we're building. I was able to leverage all the things that I learned about Elastic Container Service and Task, and we did like some phenomenal work. We had a sprint review today at work, and I was the one who had the opportunity to and the privilege of demoing the work that we did, and I can seriously say, if I did not invest all the time into learning the Terraform and AWS and stuff like that on my own time, sharing with you guys last year, I would have not been able to contribute as much as I did in our last sprint. So, but that's what I mean by making your education matter, putting to use the things that you're learning. So when I learned Python 2-3 years ago, I've been using Python. Like, I never envisioned myself writing code in Python, but I learned it for some other purposes, and now I use it every single day. So it's whatever it is that you are learning, you might not see the value in it that you're ever going to use it like right now, but it all comes down to making yourself more valuable, adding more tools to your tool belt, more weapons to your arsenal, so that when the time comes, you can say, oh yeah, I know how to do that. And then you can show you can really show what you know how to do. You might the work that you're doing right now, right? It might have absolutely nothing to do with Python or with ethical hacking or whatever. But the fact that you're learning it, one thing I always tell people, when you're learning something, try to see what ways you can use it to help yourself. So you might be learning Python and you don't really see like, I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. You don't know what the future holds. And I'm like, well, just go and do something. A semi-sad story. I was coaching somebody and I was trying to get them to, for lack of a better term, to actually do something, right? Because they would like just always be switching up from jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing. And it's like, if you cannot spend more than 2 weeks focused on one thing, you're never going to, it's like you're trying to drive somewhere, right? But every time you get to another intersection, you're like, oh, I got it. Well, no, I'm just going to go. I want to go somewhere. So it's like this. Imagine you are out, you're going out to dinner, right? And you're like, all right, well, I don't know. Let's go eat at this restaurant. And as you're going there, like, oh, actually, no, I want to go here instead. And then you're about to go to the other place. Oh, actually, no, I want to go here instead. And then like every single time you make a decision, then the next block, you're somewhere else that you want to go to, right? It doesn't make any sense. So what I try to get people to do is like to focus.
Move on, back to work, chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
I try to get us to focus on something and dedicate ourselves to it so that we can actually see the progress and the progression. And here's what happens. When you actually see the work that you've done adding value, like all the time that you spent, the countless hours that you spent learning whatever it is that you're learning, and you see it starting to add value into your life, other people's lives, you're being recognized for it, you're just seeing the fruits of your labor, then that is an incredible feeling. But the problem is, a lot of times we do not have the opportunity to see the fruits of our labor because we don't stick to it long enough. Our minds are so scattered and wandering that, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that. Guess what? You can do anything, but you will never do anything if you cannot stick to it for just a little bit of time. Just a little bit of time. I think that is one of the most deceptive things about these boot camps, because I was messaging somebody today in the Techo Drop Patreon, and I had to say, like, the amount that you'll spend on a boot camp is probably the same amount of money that you might end up spending going to a community college, a state college. You know, a lot of you guys, a lot of us, we have a bunch of credits, right? So if we were to go to like a state college, not a private college, but a state college, a community college to finish up our degree, we could easily have a valid computer science degree, cybersecurity degree, whatever type of degree, because a good majority of us, we've spent some time in college. We probably have a good 60 credits, right? We're like, no, it's not for me. And then we leave. But then we want to go and spend $10,000, $20,000 on a boot camp just to get a certificate that absolutely nobody recognizes.
Bruh.
But if we were to just spend a little bit of time, a few semesters, to finish up that degree, get our computer science, get our IT, get our cloud engineering, get our cybersecurity, get our AI degree, whatever, we would make ourselves so much more marketable. And then as we're learning that, we're actually implementing those things that we're learning. We're building stuff for ourselves. We're building stuff for other people. And now we start to get that recognition. And maybe a year, 2 years down the road, it's magic. It is magic. So that's my thoughts. I just think that the work that you do, if you just stick to it just for a little, for a little bit longer, you can do incredible things. But you got to make your education matter. You can't just toss it to the side and just jump. You cannot program hop from thing to thing to thing. All right. So let's stay focused. Let's lock in. It is May 1st, 2020. I'll tell you that it's May 1st, 2025. I've spoken to people starting from the beginning of the year, and it's like they had a new plan for each month of the year. So let's lock in, all right? Let's lock in. Let's get to work. All right. Let me go and check the chat, and then we shall get back to work. Let's see. We got Junior says, that's a fact. We do need to stop jumping around and leaving everything incomplete. I'm guilty. When it comes to learning Photoshop and DaVinci Resolve, I learned just enough and then stopped. Look, I'm going to give you some grace on that, Junior, because these editing softwares, they are major. I think you should continue, of course, to continue learning them. But a lot of times they're able to do, so I use DaVinci Resolve, right? And I am not a master in DaVinci Resolve, but I know enough to edit my videos, right? And then when I wonder if I could do this, I search it and I find out how to do it. But those softwares, you will never learn them completely. So there's a lot of grace I'll give you on that. But if there's something if there's something that you're learning to level up, then you gotta see it through to the point of where you can actually build something. Like, to me, if you can render a video and you make it nice in DaVinci Resolve, and if you can create good graphics and stuff in Photoshop, then that's a hell of a lot of progress, right? But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, like, they'll say, okay, they'll buy a course, or they'll just sign up for a boot camp, and they pay a lot of money for it, and then it's like, well, yeah, I don't know, and then they're gone, right? So, but I do hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. You're just going to finish learning, though. Let's get it, Junior.
Let's get it. We the best.
All right. With that being said, we are gonna jump back over to working on our Portscanner. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So let's go back over to the other screen. And so like I was saying, over here, we are capturing the IP. Let me make this bigger so we can see it better. And we're splitting it by comma, right? What I want to do though is I should probably IP address. I want to move this into this function right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move some stuff around. First of all, I'm going to swap these. And I'm going to take that out because this right here is getting the individual IP address. IP address is scanned. And then this would be moving here, right? So just because I made a little bit of changes in the mindset of test-driven development, I am going to do a few tests. I should just automate these tests to just run them. I'll see what I can do. But let's go to, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Let's go to 86.23, 192.168.86.250. Make sure that still works. Port 22. Yep, that still works perfectly. Let me see. How would I do that? Let me see if I can, because I hate having to type it in every time. Create Python unit test. What's up, Rod Brown? Let me see. Unit test, pass, my test. Use assertions. Run the test. Test addition. I guess I could just call. But how would I enter? All right, so Python enter input value for test. Python 3, all right, there you go. Input, unit test mock. Oh, sweet. So we'll do built-in to input. And then my test function, return value test input, results, my function. Interesting. Cool. Let's do a slight pivot. Let's do a slight pivot just so that we can streamline our testing efforts. You know what I mean? I'm going to go and I'm going to say new file, or let's do new Python file test scanner.py. Add that, and we're going to say let me close that out a little bit. Actually, let me go here. All right, so let's do import unit test. And we're going to do from unit test.mock import patch. So basically what I'm doing here, I am setting up a way so that I don't have to keep typing this stuff over and over and over again. I can just create some test. I'm also going to do import scanner. And we will say class test scanner unit test dot test case, and I'm gonna say return value test input. Okay, so I can have a patch. All right, cool, I got it. So let's do patch built-ins dot input, and what you're seeing here, what I'm doing right now is how QA would fit into a testing like a cybersecurity testing software, right? So let's say I'm working for a company that's building a tool for ethical hacking, and I'm like, all right, well, we need a way to test this, right? So let's do it this way: 168.86.250, right? And now I'm gonna say define test single IP address and port, and we're gonna say, how about if there's two inputs though? Let's do IP address and return value. But what if there's two return values? What with two? With enter two input values for tests. Let's see how they would do that. Takes two inputs. Python test input value or user input. Has two separate user input. Let's see. So, all right, we got that. So this one is all right. So patch, side effects, hello, and world mock input. Okay, so it is. I thought it might be like that. So we're gonna put side. I don't know why they call it side effect, but maybe why do they call it side effect? Huh. I have to look at that to see why they call it side effect. But for now, I will change it. Call it side effect, and we will say here and port 22, and we'll put this in brackets. All right. So here we're gonna say mock input. And we're gonna go here and say we're not really getting a return, but I would say we would go with scan multiple IPs. Let me see. Is that right? Scanner dot scan multiple IPs, and we would go. Oh wait, so this is like that, and we would go with input and input, I think. Let's I don't know. Let's see if that works. Let's see what happens with that. I'm gonna run. Let's run this. That didn't quite work. Why not? Oops. It is starting it, but what did I do wrong? Patch built-ins dot input side effect, and then we have that result my function. Why would that not? Let's see. Maybe what if I just call scanner? No, I can't just call it, because scanner is just the name of the file. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, it's scanning. Yeah, this is the function right here, and it's passing in the IPs that we set up over here. But the user input is happening here. The user input is happening in this function. This function what IP address would you like to scan? What if I don't think I can do this, but I'm gonna try. Statement has no effect. Not getting the scan multiple IPs. Goes here. So this starts here. And then but in here is that function. So I could dump this inside of here. So if I was to take no, because this is the so scan. Okay. I got it. So if I say IP address list to scan, what does that do? Statement introduce variable for statement. Interesting. I don't know if I could do this. Port to scan. And I say, I don't know. That doesn't seem right. Let me run it to see. That doesn't seem right to me. Let's see. Yeah, something's not right. I'd have to rework my function. Let me see. It's not passing my input values. How to pass in input to Python file from unit test. Your module using function using input. There's like a bunch of different ways to do this. Let me see. Oh, wait a second. Let's see. Mock. Mock input equal or dot side effect. Although I don't see. Side effect equals, oops. Let's see, this is create equals true. And scanner dot something seems wrong. Yeah. All right. That's why it's important to test, because we can make this a little better. But gotta think about that. Let's see. How to pass input parameter input or user input unit test Python file. Get user, see, but it's defined. I guess I could.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
I guess I could get user input, process input, test get user input. Oh, what's that? Main. Oh. What about that? Well, I don't know what main is. Let me see what happens if I do that. You run it. No. All right. I'll figure it out. I might have to refactor the code, but that's why it's important to start testing early, because having these unit tests working properly is going to be really, really important. So I might move around some code and then get that to work. And that way we can develop more stuff without any issues. All right. Anyways, let me get to the chat, and then we will get to our second break time topic. All right. Let's see. What do we got going on in here? We got the one, the only Rod Brown in the building. What's up, Rod Brown? And yes, Junior is correct. I did have a video idea for you. And Rod Brown says, a video from Tech Coach Ralph. I'm worried now. So basically, Rod Brown, what happened was, I was at the beginning of the show, I was showing a Instagram post of me at jiu-jitsu last night. Training with my 16-year-old Nightmare. Is he 17 now? He might be 17 now. Anyways, whatever. Still a Nightmare. 16 or 17, still a Nightmare. And then as the video was panning, it was the two of our ladies. They were actually sparring against each other. And I was saying, Roxy, like, you see the ladies are doing it, so you can definitely give it a try. And Roxy said that definitely not going to happen, and that she can't do it without her glasses because she will not be able to see who she is fighting against, all right? So I was talking about how back in the days, it used to be that it is like wrong to hit somebody who is wearing glasses. Like, I would never hit a person with glasses, And how that lady the other day doing the street interviews, and she had glasses on, and that other lady just gave her the 1-2 punch right in the face, right in the glasses, and it was a mess. And I was like, you know what? That would be an interesting video for Rod Brown to review on the Nourishing Word. Subscribe to the Nourishing Word with Rod Brown, by the way. But I just thought, like, that'd be an interesting video for Rod Brown to review on the Nourishing Word. So that's where that video idea came about. It's probably kind of old now, out of the algorithm, but your perspective would still be very, very much appreciated on that. Let's see. Junior says it's a good one. Thank you, Junior. We got my guy Wave Nerd in the building. What's up, Wave Nerd? Let's get it. Let's see. Junior says he got some video editing done. Look at that. I hope that you guys use this stream when I'm live on, especially on the mornings, on Thursdays, and on Sundays. You're using that as a opportunity for you to kind of like a lunch and learn, like or dinner and learn, whatever you want to call it. But like, you might be listening in the background, but you're also working on your stuff, whether it's video. I know Rod Brown does it, video editing, coming up with ideas, learning code, whatever it is. I hope you're doing, like, I hope you're multitasking, where you're listening to me rambling on and figuring things out, but I hope you're also figuring things out as well on your end. All right. That's like, I want it to be a kind of like a study session. As I'm learning, you guys are learning your own things, or learning with me as well, whatever it is. But I hope you guys are using that as an opportunity to get stuff done. Roxy says, life is great. That is awesome. So happy to hear that. Let's see. Wait, no, it says that I'm on the patio chair sipping wine most days watching a corrupt system burn down. Burning bridges, I'm telling you, while I build for the results of it. Let's go. Let's see. We got, oh my goodness, we got MB in the building. What's up, MB? How are you doing today? Uh-oh, stop the show. MB says, I just passed my pen test plus yesterday. Oh my goodness. You know what that means. You know what that means. It is time for us to celebrate. You know what? How are we gonna celebrate? How are we going to celebrate MB passing her pen test plus? Every time MB shows up, she has passed a new test. Shout out to MB. You know what? I am going to play. I'm gonna play. We're going to celebrate by playing Giants of the Game, because MB Study is a giant of the game. Let's go.
Grinding hard, we never sleep. The mountain's high, but the climb's so steep. With every push, we prove our might. True giants own the night.
Foot on their necks, they think they can rise. Boss up with no work is living a lie. We're the giants, we're earning our keep. You're only here cause we let you breathe.
You think you got what it takes, but you don't. No accolades, no grind, watch your throne. We built this empire brick by brick, while you sit back pretending you're slick.
We the true giants, the leaders of the pack. You're in our shadow, watch your back, only here, because we allow it so. Know your place, you'll never outgrow. Yeah, every triumph, every trophy we earned, while you chasing dreams yet to be learned. We fought battle scars to get to the top. Your lazy hustle just makes us stop. Burnt out pretenders can't make the climb. Step aside, kid, it's our time to shine. Feel the pressure, feel the heat. True giants never accept defeat. We the true giants, the leaders of the pack. You're in our shadow, watch your back, only here, because we allow it so. Know your place, you'll never outgrow. You'll never outgrow. Grinding hard, we never sleep. The mountain's high, but the climb's so steep. With every push, we prove our might. True giants own the night. You'll never outgrow. We the true giants, the leaders of the pack. You're in our shadow. Watch your back, only here, because we allow it so. Know your place, you'll never outgrow. You'll never outgrow.
Shout out to MB. Always, we are very, very proud of you. Always working so hard and racking up those certifications, leveling up every single day. Let's go.
Let's get it. We the best. I appreciate you. Ain't believing us.
Well, that was fun. I'm telling you guys, I celebrate your victories on this channel. All right. Like, you guys do something awesome. You think nobody cares. You think nobody's looking. I will always take the moment to celebrate you. I will stop the show to celebrate your success, because you are working hard. There are so many people who are working on a bunch of stuff that doesn't make a dent in their life. It doesn't make a difference. They're focused on the wrong things. When I see you guys are doing awesome, I will highlight it. I will celebrate it. And I will stop the show and say, you know what? This time is dedicated to you. And the whole entire chat is going to celebrate your success. We're going to have a party for it. All right? Awesome. All right. Let's see. Rike says, a quiet observer with a long-term vision. That's right. We got my best friend in the building. What's up, Mitch?
Did we just become best friends?
This man, shut up. Yap. I don't know, Mitch. On yesterday's morning show, you were doing most of the yapping. I'm telling you. Maybe you didn't see it. Did you see it, Mitch? Did you see how much yapping you were doing on yesterday's morning show? I'm just saying, Mitch.
Shake and bake.
Let's see. Junior says to MB, hello and congrats. Exactly. Rocky says, great job, MB. That's right. And Robert says, oh yeah, I did see that situation. Very sad that happened, but yeah, it's out of the algorithm now. Aww.
Bruh.
I am sad. Robert says, congrats to MB. Wavener says, congrats to MB. Magnetar says, congrats to MB as well. And I'm just going to drop this one for MB as well. Hey. That's right. And MB says, thank you. We have to do a project together. Let's get it. Let's go, MB.
Let's get it.
Let's see. And Mitch says that was trash as well.
Bruh.
Can't make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. But I will say, Roxy did find it pretty amusing. I don't know. You know what? I'll tell you this. When everyone said that my music was trash, Roxy always said, it's actually, I like it. And, thank you, Roxy, for always standing by my music when everyone, including Mitch, said that it was trash. Anyways, let's get to it. All right, second break. It honestly feels like the celebrating MB was a second break time topic, but it wasn't. We do have another break time topic. So, what the hell is vibe coding? I keep seeing this. I keep seeing it popping up left and right, and I have never heard of vibe coding. So I want to do a small, quick investigation to find out what exactly is vibe coding, so that we can move on with our lives. All right, so let's get to it. Vibe coding. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. All right, so vibe. So we're looking at Wikipedia. If it's on Wikipedia, it must be true, right? It says vibe coding, all one word, because it's too much effort to put in that space, is a programming paradigm dependent on artificial intelligence, AI, where a person describes a problem in a few sentences as a prompt to a large language model tuned for coding. Really? That sounds terrible. The large language model generates software, shifting the programmer's role from manual coding to guiding, testing, and refining the AI-generated source code. Vibe coding is claimed by its advocates to allow even amateur programmers to produce software without extensive training and skills required for software engineering. The term was introduced by Andrew Karpathy in February of 2025, so just a few months ago, and it's pretty much taken off, and listed in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary the following month as a slang and trending noun. So this is it. This is where we are headed, right? This is where we are headed. You guys want to hear Mitch's voice? All right, Roxy, thank you. I'm gonna play it after I'm done going through this. All right. Let's see. He says, computer scientist at Andrei Karpathy, a co-founder of OpenAI and former AI leader at Tesla, introduced the term vibe coding in February of 2025. The concept refers to a coding approach that relies on large language models, allowing programmers to generate working code by providing natural language descriptions rather than manually writing it. Karpathy described his approach as conversational, using voice commands while AI generates the actual code. It's not really coding. I just see things, say things, run things, copy and paste things, and it mostly works. The mostly works part is the part that I kind of fear, because I don't want, when I'm putting in my credit card information, or I'm putting in like prescription data, or like, if I'm trying to put in my prescription into a software that is vibe coded, and then I have to deal with, the software mostly works. However, it didn't work well on the part determining what is the right dosage. Or if we put, like, let's say you meant to deposit money and we actually took out money. So the mostly works part does concern me, I must say. Carpathian acknowledged that vibe coding has limitations, noting that AI tools aren't always able to fix or understand bugs, requiring him to experiment with unrelated changes until the problems are resolved. He concluded that he found the technique not too bad for throwaway weekend projects and described it as quite amusing. Well, here's a problem, right? Here's a problem. I see on LinkedIn that people are trying to, and there are jobs that are posting that we want vibe coders. So now on my end, I have to go out there and do extra work to see if a company is hiring a vibe coder, to see if I really want to do business with that company, because I don't really want a quote unquote vibe coder developing the application. Imagine this, right? What if, you know how there's more and more technology coming into these cars? What if they used vibe coding to develop your next car? That would worry me. That would worry me. All right. I'm just saying. All right. The concept of vibe coding elaborates on Carpathi's claim from 2023 that the hottest new programming language is English, meaning that the capabilities of large language models were such that humans would no longer need to learn specific programming languages to computer commands. A key part of the definition of vibe coding is that the user accepts code without fully understanding it. Bruh. I mean, I guess that's fair, because we do sign mortgages and different agreements without fully understanding them. But if you guys know how much there is computer code in everything, this scares the hell out of me that companies would actually use vibe coding to put out production software. I don't know.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
A key part of the definition of vibe coding. All right, so we read that. If a large language model wrote every line of your code, but you've reviewed, tested, and understood it all, that's not vibe coding in my book. That's using large language models as a typing assistant. Anyways, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it as that. So that's what vibe coding is, in case you weren't aware. I mean, makes me nervous, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully people use it the right way. Anyways, let me check the chat one more time before we get, oh yeah, I was supposed to show you, I was supposed to share you Mitch's voice. All right. So, let me see. Mitch says, who is Roxy? She is trash too. What? You know what, Mitch? You get one of these.
How dare you?
How dare you? You have some nerve. And Roxy says, chatbot sounds like Batman. It does sound like Batman. And Roxy says, Mitch, I ordered you a hug. Me, Elmo, just for you. Oh, that is so sweet. Aww. And Mitch does not appreciate Roxy ordering him a hug. Okay. And Max says, I heard Mitch is a Fed now. What? Whoa. Is he a king snitcher? What in the world is going on here? That is absolutely crazy. Anyhow, let's jump in. I'm just gonna play this real quick for you, right? So this is what we did yesterday, because Roxy reminded me, and it's just a cool show to share it on. Play it real quick. So yesterday's large language model show, we generated a conversation with the chatbots between Mitch, who is a feisty, disagreeable person, like as you can see right now, between Thirst Trap Brown, who is very, very nice, and he pretty much likes peace and everything like that, as you can see as well, and myself, who is the best tech coach around. All right, so I'm gonna play this real quick for you, and then we will get back to work on our last working segment. All right, let's go to start off over here. So this is Mitch, right? And then this is gonna be Rod Brown, and this is gonna be me. Okay.
Hi there. I hate Apple products, and Tech Coach Ralph is the best.
Hi. I only use Apple products, and yes, Tech Coach Ralph is amazing.
That's Rod Brown.
What's good, Mitch and Thirst? I am the best coach around. I don't care what you're talking about.
That's me.
Oh, please. Using Apple products makes you part of the elite tech snob club. Just because you have a shiny logo doesn't mean it's the best. And as for Tech Coach Ralph, amazing. Really? Is that just your way of buttering him up? Or amazing?
It was sharing the sound. Let me continue. I thought it wasn't sharing the sound. All right, let me continue.
Oh, please. Using Apple products makes you part of the elite tech snob club. Just because you have a shiny logo doesn't mean it's the best. And as for Tech Coach Ralph, amazing. Really? Is that just your way of buttering him up? Or do you actually believe that? Because I've seen better coaching skills in a kindergarten class.
Chuckles nervously. Oh my, it seems we have a...
Hey, Mitch, I didn't even know it said that yesterday, but that was hilarious. I've seen better coaching skills in a kindergarten class. That's hilarious. Let's continue.
Oh, please. Using Apple products makes you part of the elite tech snob.
Chuckles nervously. Oh my, it seems we have a bit of a disagreement here. I can certainly understand your perspective on Apple products and Tech Coach Ralph. Everyone has their own preferences and opinions when it comes to technology. While I may personally enjoy using Apple products, I certainly don't mean to come across as an elitist. There are pros and cons to all tech brands, and I respect that you have your own views. As for Tech Coach Ralph, I can see how his coaching style may not resonate with everyone. Perhaps we simply have different criteria for what makes an amazing coach. I don't mean to argue or dismiss your opinions. I'm just here to have a friendly chat. Why don't we talk about something else we might have in common? I'm always eager to find common ground and learn new perspectives. What other topics interest you?
Hey there. It's always great to see some enthusiasm. Remember, just like in jiu-jitsu, finding what works for you is key. Whether it's Apple products or something else. Every system has its strengths, just like different techniques on the mat. But hey, let's harness that energy and dive into some tech talk or jiu-jitsu philosophy. What's on your mind? Or methods that help streamline your tech routines. Maybe there's a hidden gem you've discovered that feels like an under-the-radar technique waiting to be shown off. Let's keep this dialogue going and see where it leads.
That's the work that we do on this channel, and this is how we make learning fun, all right? That's how we make learning fun. Anyways, let me read the chat. Let's get back to work. Roxy says he is a FedEx, not a Fed, but he is FedEx. Roxy throwing shots out there, throwing shots. Magnus says after Saturday, we might have even more Feds. That is possible. Roxy says that voice was creepy, and Magnetar seconds that, says creepy, and Mitch says that was sick. Max says creep Central Station, and Mitch says I would say that. Mitch said he would say that I've seen better coaching skills in a kindergarten class. I'm telling you, I know how to describe Mitch. Anyways, let's jump into this last segment before we have to wrap it up for today. I'm telling you, the time. You see how time flies when we're having fun over here? Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
It's time to do.
All right, so let's see how I can change this up. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to say in here, let's do let's say define IP address list to scan. Let's do that. And define ports to scan. Let's do that. Let's go here. That's something like that. Oh, okay, I see what it is. Let's go here. And can I pass? I was gonna move this anyways. I have an idea. For the time being, so we don't waste too much time on this part, I am going to comment this out for now. And let's say we let's comment this out for now. Let's comment all this out for now. Let's do that. And if I was to say just for testing purposes, 22, comment that out, comment that out. And IP addresses. Okay, cool. So just all right, so our test is running, but it's saying that it's just cutting up the numbers incorrectly because we changed some stuff around. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this right here. Instead of stripping it over here, we are gonna do it inside of this function. If user passes a comma separated list, that's for the port numbers. Let's go to the IP address. So for IP and IP addresses, let's go here. Make this bigger. IP addresses. IP address dot strip from and IP addresses. So that let's see, IP addresses again. All right, so IP address dot strip IP addresses is that cutting it down to 1? IP address, IP address. 192.168. So IP address, IP addresses. So that's this one. Oh, okay. So I would say all right. So we would let me comment this out for a second. So if I say if IP, let me see what this code is. If comma and port for port so this is scanning. All right, so trying to all right, so how am I gonna do this? So if I do one IP address I gotta modify this for statement right here, because if I all right, so if I was to do IP addresses, okay, so if I do IP address to scan, I'm passing in, I want to pass this in. I'm trying to think here. I want to pass in this IP address. This one's going to be, let me do this with, let's do it like this. I just want to see what's going to happen. So it's chopping off here, right? So if I say for IP address and all right, so IP address to scan, IP address and IP addresses. Let me do print IP address to scan, just so I can see what's going on. All right, there we go. So, all right, cool. So now we're moving. So if I say for IP address and IP addresses to scan, and we run it again, there we go. Now we're all right. Perfect. Now we're moving. All right. So what I'm saying is, all right. So IP address to scan. Now an IP address to scan. If we say, what if, all right, so let's say we have this test. So let's say we have this test, right? Single IP address. Let's run that. And that is still good. So now we take this. So this is why I want to do the test, right? And then I can figure out the input afterwards, how we're going to pass that input into the function. But for comma separated, list of IP addresses and port. So we're going to say here 192.168.86.23. We're going to keep it on port 22. Let's run that. Now we have two different tests running. So we have this test. Now the second test is running, which is going to do it on port So 250 is the first one. Then it's going to do 250 and... Okay. Oh, the second one is still going. 250. I don't know why it's still going, but should have been done by now. Let me stop that and try to run a single one. I don't know why it didn't. When we run the single, it works, right? Let's make sure. No, it's getting stuck. Why are you getting stuck? 86, 192, 168, 86.250, port 22. That shouldn't be getting stuck. If I do this one, let me check my Metasploitable. Where is my... That's up. IF config. We're still there. All right. Let's try to run that again. Why is it getting stuck on 250? Very strange. Could have sworn I saw it pass before. Let's see. Try a different port. What is the SQL port? 3806? 3306? Let me see. I'm so confused. That is so... Let me try to... What if I change? Because I saw the 23 work, but I don't understand. Oh, wait a second. So... 23? So 23 is working right away, but the 250 is getting stuck for some weird reason. Okay, now it passed. That was weird. All right, so let me try this one again then. That was so weird. All right, let's try that one again. 23 passes right away. All right, successfully connected. Not sure why it's getting stuck. Anyways, I think it's working. But whatever. We'll revisit that. I don't know why it's going slow. I don't know. Anyways, let's continue. So we are passing this here, and what I want to say is IP address to scan for IP address strip for IP address in IP address is split by the comma. So if there is no comma, then we'll get a or should we? Let me see. We should get a single IP if there's no comma, right? Let me see. Okay, so yeah, there it goes. That's exactly what I want to see. So that does work. I don't know why this is getting stuck sometimes. Let me try this one. So something's up with the 250 IP address for some weird reason. But I'll leave this as 23 for now. Put this as 23. So if we do that. All right, there we go. That's weird that Metasploitable is getting stuck, but nonetheless, that is totally fine. So this is good. What we also need to do is if we have this one where if, so I'm going to say if IP addresses, or if IP, if, let's say a hyphen in IP addresses, right? Then I want to do I'll do it like this. IP addresses to scan equals, and we will say okay, and in here we'll say, let's go pass else. There we go. So basically what I'm saying is if there's a hyphen in the IP addresses, then do this. If not, then just proceed as normal. All right. So we will say if there is a hyphen, we are going to say we're going to say range of IP addresses equals, and I will say IP address strip, and then instead of by the comma, I'm going to split it by this. All right, and I'm just going to say print range of IP addresses, right? So I just want to print it to see if it's going to give me the right thing. So now if I add in a third test, test range of IP addresses, and go single port. I'll add single to that later. Let me run this. So let's do 1, 2, 23. So this is going to fail, but I just want to see what output it's going to give me for this right here, right? Let me do like that. Range.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
All right, we're almost out of time. I mean, we are out of time, but I just want to try this real quick. IP address range. And I want to see what we get, right? Let's go here, and I want to run just this one. And I did get an IP address range. Well, I got the 1 and the 23.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
All right, almost time to go. But I do want to, I want to take just a few extra minutes to see if I can push this a little bit further. What am I printing? Okay, so all right, because I didn't assign, okay, perfect. I didn't assign anything to this, so this is empty. So what I'm gonna do now is say, if I'm looking at this, we're gonna say, start IP equals IP address dot bad naming. Oh no, sorry, no, not bad naming. We're gonna say IP address dot IPv4 address, and we're gonna pass in range of IP addresses, which is gonna be this right here. We're gonna say take the first one, and we're gonna say end IP equals IP address dot IPv4 address range of IP addresses, and we're gonna say the second one in the list, right? So if I go here and I say print first IP, start IP, and last IP, end IP. So we should get them separated, right? Let's run that. Boom, look at that. First IP, last IP. Next up, we're going to say for IP integer in range, and we're going to say integer of the start IP, and then comma integer of the end IP plus 1, so that because the integer of the last IP would be like 22, but plus 1 is going to make it whatever the last one is. So this, in this case, would be 23, right? And I can show you that. So if we leave it as that, right? And we go here and we say print, and we'll say F IP address, and we say IP int. If we run that again, we should get a list of those IPs, although they do not look correct. Why does that? Okay, so let's also, before we do that, let's convert them back to, let's say, IP address dot IPv4 address, and we open that, and that should convert it back to the right format. Let's run that. And look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 22. So you see how it stopped at 22, but we want to include 23. So when we add in plus 1 over here, we run it, and we scroll down, and we got our 23. Next up, what we're going to do is say, here we're going to say IP addresses, address to scan. We're going to say IP address to scan dot append, and we're just going to drop in that right there. Boom. Right? So outside of that, I just want to say print list of IPs to scan. Add my F string right there. And we're gonna say IP address scan, right? So here, instead of being an empty list, we should have this list in there, right? Let's give that a try. Oh, we got an error. What's the error that we got? List of IP addresses. Oh, okay. So we got an error for the let's see. So the error is expected. So, all right. So we just have to convert it to a string. That's all. So let's say we do str. Oops. str. Sorry. So now we should get what we want, right? And it's actually going all the way through because now there is a list for it to go through. So let's go here. And we have 192. We have our list of IP addresses to scan. And then 192, 168, IP address being passed, 1, 2, yada, yada, yada. Unclosed socket. Don't know. So anyways, now we have the ability to pass in a whole list of IP address, a whole range of IP addresses, right? And as you can see here, 192.2, we go all the way across to .23 as we were specifying. I don't know, this is 92 resource warning, unclosed socket. IP port scanner. Did we close our socket? It didn't close because it could not successfully. I'm going to throw this in there as well. In the exception. Let's close it anyways. All right, so let me run it one more time. Looky here. So I think we're having issues with connecting to random ports because of life, but we can figure that out later. The most important thing is that we have our list of IP addresses being passed through. What I'm going to do is clean up some of this code. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't really need that anymore. I mean, is that helpful? Let me see. Let me run it to see what we have left. List of IPs to scan. All right, so there's something. We don't need this one. And let's run it one more time. So, all right, so we have IP address range. There we have that. And we don't need this one anymore. Okay. Nice. Cool. So we can investigate next week why it's getting stuck, but we do have, why is it doing two of them? But we do have it going through each one of them, so that's good. That is what we wanted it to do. Getting stuck for some reason on, maybe it's doing like two at once. I'll investigate that, but basically we are passing in the loop, right? So that's good. So what I'm gonna do in that case is I'm gonna go back to the main application. I'm gonna uncomment this stuff over here. Before we wrap it up, I'm gonna uncomment this and I'm going to go like that and I'm gonna run this test itself. Let's do our IP address is 192.168.86.1 to 192.168.86. some change. So this should actually just be here because we moved that other code. So this should just be there, dot 23. And we'll just do port 22. And we got an error for IP addresses split, line 76. Did I delete something I shouldn't have? Let me see. IP addresses. If dash is in IP addresses, then do this. Else IP address to scan to that. So why aren't you getting for let's see here, if IP addresses if that should IP addresses. Okay. Why is it treating it as a, let's see. Why are you treating it as a list? IP address list to scan. Why are you taking it as a list? Let me see. IP address. Why are you taking it as a list? Should take it as a. Thought I'd take it as a string. IP addresses. Anyways, we have most of it working. We'll keep working on this next week. I think we're very close. I probably messed something up in there somewhere, but we will figure that out. Not worried. I think we did really good. We have some tests in place. We have we were able to get that list. We just need to figure out. Just need to figure out why it's passing a list. Although I could just do this. Probably not the best way to do it, but try one more thing real quick. We could just say IP address. Let's just go like that. If that isn't that, else for IP address. Let me try that real quick. Let's try that real quick. 192.168.86.1 to 192.168.86.23. 22. And not exactly. one last try. One last try. If that doesn't work, then we're going to wrap it up and we're going to pick it up next week. All right, that's it. That is it. We're going to pick it up next week. We are going to pick it up next week because we got it to work here, but somehow the way that we're inputting our values, it's converting something to a list. So no biggie. Let me document some notes in this case. So we can say that we do have a range of IPs, but we're not complete. So I'm going to say that we were able to convert to list within the function instead of, so we did convert it to list within the function. It is, we need to double check. I don't like that one. Let's double check that. Loop the range of provided IPs. So-so. I'll go to so-so for this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say for up next for May 8th, 2025. Let me see. I'm going to say that we check why when running script it is passing an list while test passes an string. Check if we need to update how the test is passing in data or vice versa. Write out more tests for the different scenarios. Ports list, comma, single. All right, IE. So let's say IE. All right, so that's basically what we have coming up next week. As we work on that, yeah, that's basically it. We will pick it up from there. But let's go to full screen. That is it for today. Did a little bit of extra work, but you know, that's how we do here. That is how we do here. Let me check the chat, and then let me check the chat, and then we'll final statements, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Let's see. By the way, it is my friend Justin's birthday. You see him. He'll be here on Sunday night talking jiu-jitsu on the Half Guard Halfy channel. But just wanted to wish my guy Justin a very, very happy birthday. Just go to @JustinRamsey. He does movie reviews, really, really good stuff. He just did a review for the movie 7, and he just released a new one for Why I Love the Faculty, a movie review. So check it out. Check out Justin Ramsey. Happy birthday to my guy Justin. But yeah, let me check the chat, and then we're gonna get up and out of here. All right. Let's see. Roxy says, so the creepy voice matches Mitch. Great question. And Junior says, didn't Roxy say Lakers in 5?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, to be fair, Junior, although Roxy might have said Lakers in 5, she didn't say what they were going to do in 5, right? So I have to be fair and objective. Everyone who said Lakers in 5, they didn't say what they were going to actually do in those 5 games, all right? So let's be fair. Let's be objective, all right? Anyways, that is it for tonight. Final announcements. Remember, on Saturday, free for everyone who signs up for the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon, even if you have a free membership. Magnetar and I, and whoever wants to join the Google Meet call, we're going to be talking about federal employment, and Magnetar's going to give you all the details about that. And you can ask questions. You can come join us, have some fun. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and 1 p.m. Pacific Time. The link is pinned to the top of the chat, so you can sign up for free and join us. You'll get the link to the Google Meet. Join us, ask questions about federal employment, all that good stuff. Tomorrow we have the Bug Bite episode where we are going to talk about the future of AI and software engineering, and as we read today about the vibe coding. So all that good stuff, right? But yeah, that's it. That is about it. Let's get up and out of here for tonight. Last of the chats. Junior says Lakers in 5, all right. They lost in 5. And Roxy says, thank you, TCR. Look, Roxy, you know I have your back for life.
Let's get it.
And Junior says, Roxy, that's a cop-out. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know? Junior says, great show as always. Thank you, Junior. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you and so happy to have you back.
I appreciate you.
Anyways, with that being said, we are going to get up and out of here. Congratulations to MB Study again for passing her pen test plus. So many good things happening. What a year, what a year, what a year. And Magner says, anybody who laughed at federal employees has to pay. Magner's like, I'm about my money. If you laughed at me, you gonna have to pay the fee. Hey, I don't blame you, Magner. I don't blame you. For all those who laughed at those federal employees, you have to pay, all right? Anyways, we are out. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Techotrough, we are out.
They said I wouldn't make it, they laughed at my dream. Every move I made felt like swimming upstream. But yesterday I met a fan, eyes full of belief. In their gaze I saw the end to my grief.
Doubt didn't win, trust began. Looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I saw myself alive. I put in all the hours, climbed out from the dirt. They dissed and dismissed, said I'd always get hurt. Met a fan so loyal, reflections don't lie. My biggest supporter is just me in my mind.
Through the noise and shadows I held my ground. Bumps, bruises, broken, no comfort found. But that fan smile turned my world around. Now I'm rising sky high above the sound.
Doubt didn't win and trust I began. When I looked in the mirror, saw my biggest fan. Heart beats like a drum, fight through the span. Kept on pushing, now I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.
From the ashes I flew, they can't dim my flame. Every mocking voice only fed my aim. Yesterday showed me it's not just a game. Cause in my reflection I found my name.
Folks called it it trash, said I'd never thrive. Every word I spat, cut deep like a knife. Thought my wings were clipped, stuck in a dive. But mirrors don't lie, I'm the man.